What's up, everybody? I did say that I was going to be doing this video today. As you can see from the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about the fact that I feel that we need true leadership. Um, and I made a post the other day concerning the need for leadership. And a good friend of mine responded and said that he felt like we had enough black politicians because I asked the question, when were we going to start running for office? Now, when I asked that question, I wasn't necessarily only petitioning for black people to run for office. I'm talking about people in my generation. When are we going to start running for office? I do have friends of mine that I'm really close to that are running for office in other states, and they're in for, I mean, it could be something as simple as a school board. I'm backing a pastor here in Tampa that is running for school board. So, you know, um, it's time for us as a generation to start seriously considering running for leadership positions. Um, and I feel that when the black leaders that are currently in office get voted out, retire, pass away, whatever the case may be, I feel like we do have a responsibility to replace them with someone that represents that conglomerate, just as they did. So, it may not always be a black leader, but I need them to have the exact same spirit that they had. We need true leadership. I want to bring attention to something that our current president did. I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, where he had the peaceful protesters outside the White House gassed so he could go take a picture in front of a church. There has been outrage over this from community leaders, pastors, rabbis, just regular citizens. There's clearly outrage over this. And the more I look at um, the climate of what's going on, I realize that he is also losing support among some of his key groups. That's not saying that he won't win the next election. There's a lot of things that need to go into that, which I will discuss that in a later vlog. But this isn't the true face of leadership. A true leader would have said, "Okay, listen, I understand what happened. I'm condemning that. Um, yes, we need to bring an end to the violence that's happening with the riots and destruction of property. Yes, I understand you're upset, but we do need to bring that to an end. And then figure out a way to sit down and have these conversations that are needed so that we can progress forward. These are some things that I'm seeing here in Tampa. These are some things that I'm seeing in my hometown back in Alabama. The conversation is finally being had. We've been trying to get this conversation started for years, but it took this happening. And I just want I want to believe that everything that's been going on has a greater purpose. I know that God says all things work to the good of those that worship and trust in Him, and God always has a plan. And I honestly, I feel like what's happening now with the death of George Floyd, as well as Breonna Taylor and others, we are forced to look at it simply because we can't just go on with our daily lives. We've been slowed down. We're still coming back from the effects of COVID-19. We're still not fully back at work. As a matter of fact, I think Friday here in Florida, we're going into phase two where we can actually operate at 50%, and capacity and other things are starting to open back up. However, the virus still exists, and I'm actually fearful for those that are constantly out protesting without masks and are in constant contact with other individuals, because I feel like that the numbers may skyrocket. However, um, the point is we're forced to look at this now. Whereas before, when things like this were going on, we could go on with our daily lives. So it's forcing leaders everywhere to take it seriously and realize that we have to address this, and we have to address this now. So I'm actually grateful for the state that this nation is in, or that the world is in, really, because these protests are happening all around the world for justice. So because it's forcing us to pay attention and address it. One of my fraternity brothers spoke earlier on his live. He said that it's time for the church to address it. We have this notion of the black and white church when it's just strictly the church. We've been separated by segregation a long time ago. We can go to each other's churches now. To me, I don't buy into the idea of a black or a white church. It's church. No matter where you go, we should all be teaching and preaching the same thing. If we call ourselves Christians or whatever the faith is, there should not be a black or white or like, if you're teaching the same thing, it's simply the church. I want to see our leaders in the church step up. I want to see our mayor step up. I want to see our governor step up. I want to see everyone step up. And to the ones that may not necessarily want to run for office, or you're not, in a leadership position, lead where you are. Lead where you are. Be the best leader you can at work. If this conversation comes up at work, educate them. Study, do your research, get a better understanding of the law and how things work and how things are still progressing. I know that things may not seem like they're progressing, but they are. It's not something that's going to happen quickly. It does take time. And unfortunately, that's something that us as black people don't feel like we have much of anymore. We're impatient. We're tired. We're tired of living in fear. And this is coming from someone that has been racially profiled. This is coming from someone that gets nervous whenever a police officer gets behind them, and I've never done anything wrong in my life. But we're tired of having to live in this constant state of fear, and people not either A, understanding how we feel, or B, not wanting to understand how we feel. In many cases, it's not wanting to understand how we feel, but it's time for us to lead. Black, white, indifferent. It's time for us to get more leaders. We need people to actually understand what's going on in day-to-day life, because our top government officials, a lot of them have been in these positions for 20, 30 years, and they don't even understand, some of them, what is going on in the day-to-day life of a American citizen. So they're disconnected. So we have to lead from where we are and hope and pray and push and fight to make change at the top. I hear a lot of people saying, go out and vote, go out and vote. Yes, voting is very, very important. I'm not going to say it's not. Our voting numbers as a nation suck. Our percentages suck. But there's something that we definitely need to improve on. But I believe that at the root of it, it's going to take us leading from where we are. I've spoken to people, and we talked about the fact that in the black community, we were stronger when we stood behind one another. For some reason, we have this crab in a bucket mentality. So we're going to pull the next person down because we don't want them to be better off than we are. We don't want to see them doing better, or that we don't want them to have something that we don't have. We have to get out of that mindset. We've seen what that can do when we support each other and work together. It was called Black Wall Street, and it was so successful that it ticked the top leaders off, top people off, racists off, and they burned it to the ground. We have not had another Black Wall Street since then. But it's coming, and I'm going to tell you where it is. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. It's in Atlanta. Believe it or not, Atlanta is the capital to us. That's our capital, because that's where a lot of us are. That's where we own a lot of businesses. That's where we go. That's where a lot of us go. And we're very successful there. Not saying we can't be successful anywhere else, but that is the central hub for us. So I want to see us lead from where we are. I want to see us lead in these leadership positions that we have to get voted into. I know that may take time. I know some of them require going to school, doing different things before you're able to even qualify to do it. That's understandable. I understand that some people aren't mature enough. Definitely don't go try to be a leader if you don't feel that you're mature enough, or you know that you're not mature enough. Uh, some people don't want to be in the spotlight. You can lead from behind the scenes. People do it all the time. So there's really no excuse. There's always something that you're good at. If you can't be a leader, be a strong supporter. Do what you do and support. We need that as well. But I just wanted to get on here today and say that we do need those leaders. And just a little while ago, before I came out here to actually record this, there was an update in the George Floyd case, sorry, and the other three officers have been arrested. They're being charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder, and the charges against the officer who had his knee on the neck of George Floyd has had his charges upgraded from third-degree murder to second-degree murder. They are looking at other evidence, and the new attorney that is over this has said that if there is sufficient enough evidence for a first degree murder charge, they will push for a first degree murder charge. But it is very hard to get a first degree murder charge without a confession, or it's a lot that goes into having to get a first degree murder charge. But I'm grateful that they're still pushing. I'm grateful that they are making progress, and I'm grateful for the fact that some of these communities around this nation are finally ready to have the conversation that we've been trying to have for years. This is not the time for us to say, I'm tired of talking. No, we need someone to talk. We need someone to sit down at the table and talk to people that are in charge, so that we can continue to move forward and actually see change happen. So we've done a lot of the legwork. The legwork is still going on. Everybody isn't suited to do the legwork of the protesting or different things like that. Some people are strictly the ones that need to sit down and talk. Some people are the ones that need to plan the meetings. So we need everyone. We need support from black, white, indifferent, so that we can actually push and see change happen in this country. But it's time for us as the next generation it's time for us to step up and be leaders, not only good leaders, great leaders, and not only lead for our race or a party, truly lead for the people in this country. Because I don't identify as a Republican nor a Democrat. I see what needs to be done, and I want someone that's going to actually focus and actually go out and do the things that need to be done regardless of party. But that's all I have for you today, people. I may do another video tomorrow. It's really all going to depend, just simply because I have a lot of different things going on tomorrow. But I want you guys to continue to keep your head up. If you're protesting, be safe, because there are those that don't have the same mindset as you, and they want to come out and agitate it and have things blow up, and then people start getting hurt. They want to destroy property, different things like that. If you're not out protesting, continue to do whatever it is that you're doing. If you're helping the situation, continue to come up with the ideas, because we're going to need the ideas. And if you're staying out of it, I mean, whatever it is that you feel is best for you, do that. But understand, we need every voice that we can get. We need everybody supporting this that we can possibly get. But I want you guys to remember this. Continue to set the tone for your day. Set the tone for your week. Set the tone for the rest of this year. 2020 has been a mess with everything that's going on, but I truly believe that we can definitely make the rest of this year great, and 2020 can end on a high note, and we can be better off as a country and as a people. With that being said, peace, God bless, and enjoy the rest of your day.